Welcome back to BetterAvecBourbon. Today we are making 4 old fashions using my go-to recipe, changing only one variable, the bourbon used, in order for us to decide which of these bourbons makes the best old fashioned. The recipe used will be my standard 2 ounces of bourbon, 3 dashes of Angostura bitters, a 1/4 ounce of rich demerara syrup, and an orange peel for garnish and fragrance, served over a big rock of ice. For bourbons, we'll be comparing Woodford Reserve Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, a popular, if not the most popular bourbon used in old fashions, and the choice bourbon at the iconic Pebble Bar in Manhattan. Sold for around $28 USD. Elijah Craig's Small Batch Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, an essential value pick as it's a blend of 7 to 12-year-old whiskey at a reasonable price. Purchased for around $35 USD. Wild Turkey 101, iconic as a great bang for your buck whiskey, coming in at over 100 proof, purchased for around $30 USD. It doesn't get much more accessible than this. And the Barton 1792, winner of the Best Kentucky Small Batch Bourbon Award at the 2025 World Whiskey Awards, purchased for around $37 USD. I wanted to keep the list to 4 and all bottles under $40 USD, but some honorable mentions are 4 Roses and Buffalo Trace. Once you've got your bourbons, gather the rest of your ingredients and let's get to it. Starting off, grab your bar mat and your other star ingredients, rich demerara syrup, adding a pour spout to reduce the chance of heavy pours in any one cocktail, and Angostura bitters. Angostura can be unwieldy, so I recommend a Japanese dasher bottle for better control. Since I don't have 4 mixing glasses, we'll be using 4 mason jars to stir our cocktails. Now for the recipe. Start by adding 3 dashes of Angostura bitters, or 6 dashes with a Japanese dasher bottle, followed by a 1/4 ounce or a 1/2 tablespoon of rich demerara syrup, Now for the booze. Get your go-to jigger and 1 by 1, measure 2 ounces of each bourbon, and add it to its respective mason jar or mixing glass. Starting with Wild Turkey 101, Elijah Craig, Woodford Reserve, and Barton 1792. Fill each with ice and then stir for about 25 seconds each. For glassware, get your favorite rocks or double rocks glasses and add a large rock of ice to each. and carefully pour each of your cocktails into their respective glasses. Garnish each with an orange peel for fragrance and flavor. Now let's bring back the bourbons so we can keep track of which is which. From right to left we have Wild Turkey 101, Elijah Craig, Woodford Reserve, and Barton 1792. Now for the tasting. For the Wild Turkey 101, strong cinnamon, the toffee notes work well with the spice, and a gentle oak in the background. For Elijah Craig, spicy but a bit nutty, with a balance between vanilla and toffee, almost an almond flavor. Woodford Reserve offers gentle spice, vanilla, and some oaky smoky. And lastly, for the 1792, there's spiciness from the high rye blend, smokiness from the barrel, with toffee in the background, and a touch of vanilla. All of these bourbons are good to great, but today there can only be one winner. Since we've got 4 old fashions here, I have also enlisted my wife for her expertise and support in working through these drinks. In last place, ranking 4th on both of our lists, we have the Wild Turkey 101. Coming in at the lowest price of $30 USD after tax, it's a solid daily drinker, but it's really missing the refined oak and toffee flavors from some of the other blends. In third, perhaps the most surprising, I've got Woodford Reserve, ranking 3rd for me and 2nd for my wife. Really great flavors in the Woodford, but my personal preference is for something that's a bit spicier and leans more towards toffee flavors versus vanilla. And I just find I get more vanilla and less spice than the last two. In second, we've got Barton 1792. This was a close one. I had it as my top choice as I love a high rye bourbon and an old fashioned, but my wife had it at number 3, which makes our winner the Elijah Craig small batch. My second choice and my wife's number 1. It's a fantastic value pour, priced well, the second lowest in cost out of the group, and it really strikes a nice balance of spice, nuttiness, toffee, and a bit of vanilla, making for a really smooth yet complex old fashioned. You can't really go wrong with any of these bourbons, but I've definitely got a sweet spot for Elijah Craig. Thanks everyone for watching. Do you have a favorite go-to whiskey for old fashions? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, hit that like button, press subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.